Do you really need to quit your 9-to-5 job to become a successful creator? I've wrestled with the idea of quitting my job and going all in for years, but as time went on, adulting just became a reality. The need for stability grew and the follow your dreams trope just seemed harder to embrace each year. You're trying to become a creator, but is it even possible when you're working a 9-to-5? Is the juggle worth it? Or should you just quit, bank on yourself and just do it? Everyone's felt the effect of life piling on as you age. In my teens, earning $7.40 an hour, yup, that was a going rate at my first job at Red Rooster 17 years ago. My biggest expense was a pair of jeans. But then you grow up, you want holidays, restaurants and bars start to pique your interest. You find a partner, and well, living at home loses its appeal. So you move out. But then after a few years, living with roommates just isn't a vibe anymore. You want to get your own place, but now you want a backyard with a dog. Meanwhile, your friends are buying houses, getting married and having kids. And you're just sitting there scratching your head thinking, is this exactly what I need to be doing right now? All of this is happening while you're trying to keep that creative flame lit. It's enough to make you absolutely dizzy. This whole debacle can be summed up into a little formula that goes something like this. Creative risk equals age times increased wealth divided by flexibility. As you get older, responsibilities increase. Family, mortgage, bills. All of this makes it so much harder to take risks. As your income grows, so does your financial commitments and standard of living. You might upgrade your car, you move to a nicer neighborhood, or you start taking investing more seriously. Each of these steps ties you down even more. Flexibility. Flexibility is fewer responsibilities, lower living costs, and fewer dependents. The more flexible you are, the lower the creative risks. But with each year, flexibility tends to shrink because commitment grows. High flexibility, younger age, lower wealth. When you're young and earning less, the creative risk is lower because you have fewer responsibilities. You might be able to live with roommates, skip expensive dinners, and spend weekends locking yourself away, working on your passion without any real consequences. Low flexibility, older age, higher wealth. As you age and earn more, the creative risk increases significantly due to the higher responsibilities and financial commitments. Now, you're paying a mortgage, saving for your kids, you're paying for daycare, you're paying for the school, and on top of all that, you're now maintaining a certain standard of living. It's not just about you anymore. You can't just cut your income in half or live on a shoestring budget without impacting your family and their future. The risk just isn't about failing. It's about the potential fallout on those who depend on you. So I ask the question, is it even possible to become a creator whilst you're working a 9-to-5? Is the juggle worth it? Should you just quit and bank on yourself? I'm here to tell you that I absolutely do think it's possible because look, I'm living, breathing proof that you can do both. Most people with the creative side dabble with their hobby in their early teens, and then they go all in for a few years because they're driven by passion and the dream of making it big. But soon reality sets in. They need to pay bills, they start a career, and slowly their creative pursuits gets pushed to the back burner. They might never find traction and eventually just hang up the boots, seeing their creativity as a distant memory. Then there's a subset of people who do find success early. They manage to turn their creative passions into a sustainable career. But for these people, the pressure to constantly produce and monetize their creativity can become overwhelming. What once was passion now feels like a job, leading to burnout and resentment towards their art. When I was a teenager, all I wanted to do was learn how to play guitar. I had a dream of making it big, but as the years went on, reality set in. I had to get a job, I had to pay rent, and slowly my guitar started to gather up dust. The reality is, the need for financial stability often overrides the love for the creative thing. You start viewing your passion solely as a financial tool, and in turn, you fall out of love with it. I love this quote. I actually came across this quote when I was scrolling through some comments on a YouTube video. When content is a byproduct of passion, you create magic. When content is a byproduct of necessity, you create burden. For those who go all in, the pressure to succeed can be way too much. When your art is your sole income, every piece you create is tied to your financial well-being. This pressure can crush your creativity and just lead to burnout. This is the dream. The dream is that you pursue your creativity and it takes off right away, making you financially free for the rest of your life. If you can do that, do it. If you're a kid watching this video, my suggestion is to lean in as hard as you can into your creativity. The compounding effect of getting the work done at a young age and being consistent for 10 years, 20 years, more, that's unbeatable. Be smart about how you attack it and make it your entire being. If you're a bit older and already working, or you're just wanting to start a creative side hustle, this video is for you. I propose there's a middle ground where you can build financial stability while still pursuing your creative dreams. It's not easy, but it's possible. From my own experience, it takes a little bit of planning, a ton of discipline, and a willingness to make a few sacrifices. Balancing a 9-to-5 job with creative side hustles requires a lot of effort, but it provides you a safety net that allows you to take calculated risks with your creative pursuits. This way, you can maintain a passion without the overwhelming pressure of financial instability. Let me show you what my life looks like right now. I juggle a 9-to-5 job, I've recently become a dad, I train 6 days a week at the gym, and I run 2 to 3 times a week. And on top of all of that, I've got my creative pursuits, which is going all in on this new project of being a music producer and a content creator. I didn't technically choose this path, it kind of chose me. As life progressed, age and increased wealth made it too hard to stomach quitting my job, so I didn't want to go to zero just to pursue my dreams. I'll openly admit, I feel a sense of angst and sometimes I question, did I make a mistake by not going all in? But look, that happens every now and then. More often than not, I step back and I appreciate my life right now, what my current situation looks like. I really want people to understand that this is my path, and it might not be the correct one for you, but I'm here to shine a light on what's possible for anyone in a similar position. At the time of making this video, we packed up our bags, moved to the country, and we live at a beautiful country home. We have 2 cats, and we have a brand new 4-month-old baby. We're about to buy a new home in about a month. We have a decent amount of stocks and crypto, and as a combined family, we earn over $250,000 per year. To some, this might be pennies, and to others, this is a lot. I'm not saying this to gloat, I'm just being completely transparent about my life right now so I can provide as much context around my current scenario. My life is something I'm incredibly grateful for. I get to do all of this while pursuing my creative pursuits. I've created multiple music projects and multiple e-commerce based brands, all while working this 9-to-5. And look, these pursuits have had their own successes in their own right. Last year, my music projects amounted to being paid over $60,000, all without releasing a single song. How, you ask? Well, that's for another video. Let me know if you like that below. Like and subscribe if you like what you're hearing so far. Now, the caveat is, none of these projects have taken off past the point of being able to outdo my 9-to-5 work from a financial standpoint. So if you're looking for a way to escape your 9-to-5, unfortunately, this video wouldn't be for you. But here's what I can do though. The day that happens, I'll be sure to make another video telling you exactly how I did it. I'm not here to tell you this juggle is easy. If anything, I'm here to tell you it's going to take work, and a lot of it. But with some direction, anyone can achieve it. By maintaining a stable job, I've gained financial security, creative freedom, reduced pressure, and a balanced life. This allows me to take calculated risks with my creative pursuits without ever feeling that overwhelming pressure of financial instability. So before I dive into the 9 steps that I use to manage this juggle, I want to be completely upfront with you here and say, the steps I follow might not work for you. Take everything I say with a grain of salt. I personally find these incredibly helpful, and they're the foundation of how I work, but you may only resonate with one of the 9 steps, and that's fine. One is better than none. At least you can walk away with one thing and run with it. Maybe in a few months' time, you might come back and resonate with a few of the other steps. Take whatever works for you. The first and most important rule is discipline. You have to show up each and every day no matter what. Consistency is key. Whether it's waking up at an early hour to work on your music and then setting aside time after work to edit those videos, make it a non-negotiable part of your routine. For context, when we had our baby recently, I was finding it really tough to land on my feet routine-wise, which for me is really hard because I thrive on a strong routine. I would get up at 5 a.m., go to the gym around 8, get the 9-to-5 done, have dinner, then around 6 or 7-ish, I'd be back at the laptop doing whatever else needed to be done. After the baby though, it became near impossible to get any work done in the afternoon. When you have a baby, you're in this constant go mode with always something to do. So to make up for the lost time, I shifted everything an hour earlier. Instead of going to bed at 10 p.m. and getting up at 5 a.m., I shifted going to bed at 9 p.m. and getting up at 4 a.m. Was it rough? Fuck yeah. I used to think getting up at 5 a.m. was mad, and anyone that got up any earlier was nuts, but it became a necessity. I tell you this to reiterate how important this step is. Discipline is crucial, even when you're obsessed with something, because it'll likely involve you doing shit you might not love doing, like getting up at 4 a.m. Even Mike Tyson says, discipline is doing something you hate, but doing it like you love it. Telling an average person the way to succeed with a new baby is by waking up at 4 a.m. would probably be a big stretch. But because I already had a good foundation of systems in place, it was really easy. If anything, I was actually stoked to go to bed earlier. Since becoming 30 and onwards, I've learned that nothing good happens after 9 p.m. anyway. And also, a huge caveat here, my partner is a superwoman and a super mum, so she plays a massive part in this whole getting up earlier, going to bed earlier scenario. Shout out to all the super mums out there. Work smart, not just hard. Focus on what actually shifts the needle and avoid distractions. Think of the 80-20 rule. What are the small tasks that make a massive impact? This means identifying the activities that have the highest impact on your creative goals and dedicating your energy to them. Now, I've tried all the productivity tools and hacks and planners and things like the Pomodoro technique and the time blocking, all to stay on track. But in all honesty, none of them really work for me. I keep going back to discipline. I wake up earlier and I get the work done. Like, it honestly really is as simple as that. The quiet of the morning for me is incredibly motivating. My only real advice for tools, like productivity tools that I use, is Notion. I could literally make an entire series on how much I love Notion. Everything I do lives in Notion. I don't really use Notion as a task tool. It does have a calendar now, which is good because it syncs all of my projects that live in Notion to a Notion calendar, which is super handy. Really, the main use for this is I built my entire content schedule in Notion. So now I can easily see my content schedule in my Notion calendar. I then use Todoist for all my task-related work. This is my brain dump for stuff that needs to get done. It's very basic. I just add things super quickly and they just sit there until they get checked off. Now, I know this will probably cause a productivity guru a hemorrhage, having all these unchecked tasks, but hey, it seems to work for me, and that's just the way my brain works. Todoist also got a really sweet upgrade. I can now have my Gmail synced to Todoist. So now I have a central scheduler for all my work, my 9 to 5, and all of those ad hoc tasks in one place. I can now see my 9 to 5 work, all my ad hoc tasks, and my content scheduler in Todoist. Very handy, very manual to do this before. You eat more shit than you accumulate wins when you're starting out. Poetic, I know. But it's as simple as that. I can't stress how few wins you get at the beginning of the creative pursuit. If you're going to be doing this for the long haul alongside working a 9 to 5, the way not to get burnt out insanely fast is by believing in yourself, even when every single metric is saying your content sucks. This isn't to say don't assess what isn't working. This is to say have faith in your abilities and know who you are. Don't wait for creativity to hit you. Don't wait for that hit of inspiration. You have to create the right environment for it. This again goes back to discipline. Show up each day at the same time and you will 100% eventually be hit by inspiration. You can even try to squeeze out creativity by doing these small cues that almost trigger it to happen. You hear people talking about going on long walks, runs, having a shower. All of these things help you clear your mind and let the ideas flow. I find I get into this flow state really easily when I go on long drives where I'm just thinking about nothing other than just driving. Massive hack for me. Stay focused on your goals and avoid getting sidetracked by what others are doing. It is definitely not easy to open up any app, see some guru talking about it's so easy to do the thing by doing this one simple hack, or seeing a person's story around how they posted one video online and the next minute they've gone viral and they've made millions of dollars ever since. Comparison is a thief of joy. Really let that sink in. Comparison is the thief of joy. Focus on your journey and your progress. Set milestones and celebrate your achievements, no matter how small they might seem. This keeps you motivated and aligned with your vision. Learn a little about a lot. This helps you become more self-sufficient and versatile as a creator. I used to get my partner to edit and create all of my videos until one day she just said, fuck it, I'm sick of this. I don't want to do this anymore. For this project, I just had to learn how to create, edit, and film my own content. So the logical thing was I had to dive headfirst into learning. And because of that, I'm not half bad as a creator anymore. I'm more skilled than a person who has no idea what they're doing. It's now also a skill that I have which I can then monetize. Speaking of, right now, you can get my free video editing course just by clicking the link in the description. This will go through everything I've learned since starting my journey as a content creator. Don't be afraid to delegate tasks that are outside of your expertise. Focus on what you do best and let the others handle the rest. It's a strength to know when it's time to call in the professionals. If you want something that's too advanced where you need to dedicate a significant amount of time learning, and it's a skill that you're not super passionate about, outsource it. Your time is the most valuable asset you have. Weigh it up. Would it be cheaper for someone else to do this? For me, it'd be like if I wanted to get a 3D render done. I'm not going to learn how to use Blender to understand the ins and outs of 3D animation. I'll just pay someone to do it. The exact same question should be asked about these smaller mundane tasks that require no skill whatsoever. How much time am I spending on these tasks that don't require any skill and they're just solely time consuming? And then ask yourself, like, how much would it be to outsource it? Because if it's cheap, do it. Save your time and focus on what really matters. Like I literally just said, your time is the most important asset you have. If you ask any bazillion, squillionaires, so what's the one thing you would want back? It's not money, that's for sure. It's that they want their time back. Money can't buy time back. Yet. Wean your 9-to-5 work down bit by bit. This is a biggie. The balance between being a content creator and working a 9-to-5 is no doubt stressful, but it's made a whole lot easier if you can shift the tide in your favor. For context, right now I work from home 4 days a week. I don't work in a micromanaging company, so my hours are flexible. I get the work done, and sometimes my days are shorter, other days my work's longer. But the beauty here is the flexibility of it all. And look, I'm well aware this isn't the traditional scenario for most. If you do work in a role that could be done remote, what's stopping you from having a conversation with your boss? What's stopping you from jumping ship if they don't let you? Hell, if you jump ship to another company who does let you work from home, you could probably get a pay rise in doing it as well. It's always good to know your market value. If it's not possible at all to work from home like you're a tradesperson, that's fully understandable. This whole video is going to be way harder to achieve. I'm extremely fortunate for my current work-life balance. This video won't magically give you back countless hours of time to spend as a creator, but I hope as a minimum, you walk away with some tips to improve the balance. Another alternative is if you have a bunch of leave accrued, take 1 month, 2 months, 3 months, however much leave you have accrued, and just go all in during that time. Back yourself for that time, and there's no financial risk to that. You know that you have a job if it does or doesn't work out. It's a bit of a try before you buy scenario. I cannot stress how important this step is. You need a healthy mind and body for this to work. You can't be eating Maccas every single meal, going to bed at 4 a.m., waking up at 2 a.m. every single day, and not be training at all for this to remotely work. Just like a work routine, you need a fitness routine. They go hand in hand. Training and training hard, for me, is like a reset button. I can feel super average, groggy, or just not on it. And a good session overwrites it and just completely resets me. I love the feeling of smashing out hours of work and going for a really intense gym session and be done by 9 a.m. Most people are just getting up, and I've already completed what feels like half a day. And that's it. This is the framework I live and breathe by. This video isn't about escaping your 9-to-5 to pursue a content creator career outright. If I had those answers, I'd tell you. I'm simply giving you my way of managing both. This balance allows you to pursue your dreams without the immediate pressure to monetize them. And it gives you the freedom to experiment and grow. Let me be clear, my goal is not to work a 9-to-5 forever. This is a means to an end. I will escape the rat race, I have no doubt of that. I'm gonna be real with you right now. My biggest weakness has been consistency and sticking around. I've been a flash in the pan creator, going all out for a few months and then retreating when success doesn't come. But I've learned the key to success is persistence and viewing the content you create in the macro, not the micro. The advice I'm giving myself and to anyone else who wants it is view the content you're creating in the macro, not in the micro. Be eagle-eyed, zoom in on what you put out just so you can ensure a level of quality control, but don't be obsessed with the vanity metrics like the likes, the followers, and the subscribers. Just put the work out, analyze what does and doesn't work, and keep going. Don't stop. That's the key. Keep it going. I watched this video here, and it highlighted that the average time posting for the largest YouTubers is 8 years. 8 years. That's bonkers. So, zoom out, keep going. This is a marathon, not a sprint. And that's it. That's everything. It's everything I've learned in my journey to balance multiple passions without sabotaging myself in the process. The treasure is in the balance. And look, I still have a long way to go on my own journey. But at least I hope 1 or 2 or a few of these things from this list can help you in your journey. I'd love to hear from your experiences and any other advice that you might have for others on a similar path. Share your thoughts in the comments and reach out to me via email if you want to start a chat. Thank you for watching, and remember, keep going because consistency is key.